Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Torres, and I am the Marketing Manager for Streetwave. I want to thank you all for taking your time today to attend today's webinar with Cambium Networks. Today's webinar will be about cnMaestro X and its advanced features. We will have Jajesh, who will be our presenter today. But before we actually begin, I just wanted to inform everyone that this webinar will be recorded and we'll share and post it on our Streetwave YouTube channel for future viewing. If there are any questions at all during this presentation, please type them in the Q&A section and we'll get them addressed towards the end. I will now pass over the mic to Jajesh to get us started.
Thank you, Angela, and hello, everyone. Delighted to be here. In terms of introduction, I'm the product management lead for software applications, including cnMaestro at Cambium. Today, what I was hoping to accomplish is provide a quick overview of cnMaestro and cnMaestro X, and then dive into the demo, highlighting some key features, and then we'll wrap up back with a few slides that will sort of tie all of this together. So that's the agenda and the outline for today's presentation. So let's get started. So cnMaestro has existed for a number of years, and that's the Cambium's management platform. In the last year, less than a year, we have evolved the cnMaestro into a freemium offer. What that means is cnMaestro continues to be an application, an NMS for all of Cambium devices at no cost, but comes bundled with Cambium hardware, as folks have been used to it. And we are now branding that as cnMaestro Essentials, and all the advanced feature set will be part of cnMaestro X. Again, we're not taking anything that was already shipping and was part of cnMaestro and pushing it into X, but these are net new capabilities that have been developed that are making it into cnMaestro X. Right? So that's the outline. Again, cnMaestro is a unified management platform for all of Cambium's portfolio that includes fixed wireless, switching, and enterprise Wi-Fi. Right? So that's it's a single pane of glass for managing all of Cambium's portfolio, and it's now. It comes in two flavors: Maestro Essentials and cnMaestro X. X requires paid subscription, includes the Cambium Care Pro, which is 24/7 technical support, and obviously the advanced capabilities. So that's the sort of framework for cnMaestro. Okay. Now, I'll quickly sort of highlight the key capabilities of cnMaestro Essentials, and then talk of some of the uniqueness of cnMaestro X, and then we'll get into the demo. So from a cnMaestro Essentials, again, this is the one that's the base platform, does not require any subscription. You have full lifecycle management from device onboarding, zero-touch provisioning, configuration, getting statistics, monitoring, alerting, being able to do firmware updates and to your devices, getting a very powerful network hierarchical view of your network, and then moving into troubleshooting, we've got remote packet capture. So this helps for operators that are trying to get not saving a truck roll and doing remote troubleshooting. Same story for the built-in help desk. We also support up to 10 admin users, and this is where some of the differentiation you will start to see. With Essentials, you have access to 10 admin users. There's an integrated guest access for Wi-Fi with which comes bundled with 4 portals and 1,000 concurrent sessions. And for partners that are focused on in the hospitality MDU space, you have support for 300 EPSKs. And this is I should be clear that it's not just hospitality MDU, but also in education in K through 12. These are the EPSK pre-shared key is an important capability, and that you get up to 300 right at the access point with Essentials. And then, of course, in terms of scaling, we maintain the 10,000 total number of devices that you manage. So you can see that Essentials continues to deliver full lifecycle management, comprehensive management with the scale that it's always been part of, right? So no change there. All of that is cnMaestro Essentials. Now moving to cnMaestro X, and this requires a subscription. So think of cnMaestro X as a superset of cnMaestro Essentials. You get everything that you get that comes with Essentials, and some key features I've highlighted here that are unique to X. Starting with APIs, right? So there's RESTful APIs and webhooks, and that in itself is a powerful capability. Now you can sort of manage your devices programmatically. You know, if you have multiple sets of devices, you have a main dashboard. You've got your own homegrown dashboard. You can use APIs to control and manage and configure cnMaestro. Then you have 2 years performance data versus 7 days with Essentials, right? So this is all the stats that you can get. There's some nuance to this: 2 years for fixed wireless and then 1 year for enterprise Wi-Fi, but nonetheless much more than 7 days. You have support for concurrent device jobs. You can upgrade firmware for multiple sets of devices at the same time. Data reports, support for 100 admin users. Remember, with Essentials, you have up to 10 admin users, and here with X, you get 100. The other very powerful feature is the MSP dashboard, and we'll walk through this as we get to the demo. And then on the EPSK, it scales higher. Again, 10,024 keys versus 300. There's also some advanced captive portal capabilities. So here you're looking at 500 portals and 10,000 sessions versus 4 and 1,000 for Essentials. There's also the auto provisioning capability for on-premises, and then of course, like I mentioned, the 24/7 technical support. So that's the Cambium Care Pro. So when you get subscription for cnMaestro X, you get all of this, including that 24/7 support. And sometimes folks get confused about firmware upgrades. So obviously for Essentials, you will continue to get that, but only for that base set of features. With X, you get upgrades for both base and advanced set of features. Okay. With that, let's switch to the demo. So give me just a moment. I will switch screens and pull up my demo screen here. I cannot put this in presentation mode because I'll be walking through some features here. So hopefully you can see my screen. What I'm showing you is cnMaestro Essentials. And the way I have structured this demo is I want to walk through the cnMaestro Essentials capabilities quickly, and then we will focus on cnMaestro X. So if you look at the screen here, it says cnMaestro. So this is basically the cnMaestro Essentials dashboard. And we are on the home page, on the landing page. I just want to give you a quick rundown on what the key things here are. My goal here is not to walk through each of these capabilities, but to generally give you an understanding of how the product works, so that you can go use it and become more familiar and see the value. Right. So the way the dashboard is laid out is in the top right, where I'm showing my cursor. You've got the global counter, and what this means is, and obviously you can see that I'm logged in. And what this means is you've got a counter that tells you how many devices are out of sync. You've got information about software updates that are happening. You've got devices waiting for approval. So these are devices that have been claimed but not been admitted. So those are devices in the queue. And then of course you've got major alarms, all right? So this is the way the dashboard is laid out. So the global counters are all here. And of course you can click any of these things and get to the details. I will not do that, but just wanted to call out that capability is there. On the left panel here, you've got everything from monitor, manage to inventory, and then onboarding devices, configuration, network services, admin, and subscriptions. We'll go through some key ones here. But before I move to the next section, I want to just cover the main dashboard, right? So this is where you get a quick snapshot of all the device inventory and the status, right? So you've got the number of devices, you've got the device by type, you've got the connection health, your top networks, and continuing down the left panel, you've got the alarms and metrics, and then if I scroll down, you've got performance, right? So here we've got some Wi-Fi AP, so you get the Wi-Fi by throughput. There's no point to multi-point APs, but you get the point, right? So this is about giving you a quick snapshot of your network health, the device stats, and so on. And then there's a very handy quick links section in the right middle here, which launches all the stuff that you will ever need. Things like how do you do onboarding of devices, a quick start guide, overview of cnMaestro, troubleshooting Wi-Fi. So there's a lot of information here that you have access to directly, and you don't have to search. Then we also have a small tab here in purple that talks about how you can trial cnMaestro X. So let's say you're a cnMaestro Essential customers, and the way you know that it will be just cnMaestro, you can click and start your 90-day free trial, right? So this is a quick way to get to understand trial cnMaestro X without calling anybody or going to another website. So that's the layout of the dashboard. Now let me move to monitor and manage. So I've clicked this, and here you will see a good network hierarchical view and a contextual dashboard. And what I mean by that is I'll just focus on the San Jose network here. And if you go to San Jose 430, before that, let me just tell you how this is constructed. So at the very top, you have system, and that is where all the networks report into. And within and under system, you have networks, right? So there is a default, there is Chicago, there is San Jose. So these are all individual networks. And then within that, you have capabilities to put individual sites. So you have the network, and then you have San Jose 410, 550, 430. And within each site, so this is site is a physical location, a physical entity. And within that, you have your devices that sort of report into the site. So devices report into a site, right? Site reports into a network, and a bunch of networks will report into the system. That's your view of the network. And now if I go to this particular AP, obviously the dashboard is contextual, which means as you switch between your networks and the sites, it will bring up information about that network or that site. And then moving from left to right here, at the very top, you've got dashboard, you've got notifications, config, details, performance, and the like here, right? So all of these things are available. And of course, you get this. And what I wanted to talk about here is very quickly, I'll pull up the performance here while we are on this tab and just show you the information, the richness of what's available, right? So you have all these graphs of throughputs and clients and different radios and noise floor, SNR, RSSI, all that stuff. But I also want to draw your attention to the time range. You see this, you get up to 7 days. And this is what I mentioned in the slide before, that with cnMaestro Essentials, you have ability to view data over a 7-day period. Right? So that's what you will see as a difference when we move to cnMaestro X, that this goes from 7 days to 2 years. Right? So that's the thing. So so I just wanted to give you a sense of just the home page and then the network topology, the network hierarchy, and the contextual dashboard and everything that's associated with that. Now, from a lifecycle perspective, the first thing you would want to do is onboard devices. So you click on onboard, and I've onboarded a couple of devices, but it is fairly straightforward. You'll move over to the right side of the screen, and there's a tab called Claim Devices, right? So you hit that, and here you could claim all the devices. So you would put in the MSNs, and you can claim. And once you claim the devices, it'll show up in this dashboard, and it'll say, for instance, it's waiting for you to approve. The approves over the right, and I've actually I haven't approved this, so I can approve it. So that's one way to claim devices. Another more visual way to claim is you can go back to your monitor, and I'm back to my San Jose network. On the right here, you've got 3 dots, and I can click on, sorry, I can go to the network here, 3 dots, click on that, and you see the claim devices, right? So if you go through this workflow starting from here, you can claim devices into this network at this site, right? The previous one, you have to claim it in that general pool and then assign it to whatever site or whatever network you want. But here, this allows you to visually look at where, which network, which site you want to claim those devices to. Okay. So back to the onboard. So that's the claim part. So the devices can be claimed. And then once you've claimed the devices, you obviously have to configure them, right? So this is the configuration tab. And for convenience, I'll just show you the Wi-Fi config, right? So if you go to AP groups and WLAN, there's the AP groups and WLAN. You'll start off with the WLAN config, and I've created a test config, and there's some basic stuff, very self-explanatory, intuitive. So some basic settings that come with pre-populated terms. You can give the SSID name, what VLAN you want to map it to, the radios, and so on. And then if you want more, we've hidden the complexity by putting the more advanced stuff under advanced setting. But certainly you can click on that, and you can get all the advanced stuff there, right? And this is where, so that's the configuration for WLAN. And then for and within that, you see there's other things for security, guest access, access control, and there's also the EPSK. And I just want to call your attention to this EPSK stuff, which is E stands for enterprise, PSK is for pre-shared key. Remember, you get 300 keys with essentials, right? So that's the theme. And with guest access, let me just finish the AP configuration. So you go to the AP. Okay, so the wireless LAN, obviously you've configured, and now you can do the configuration for the access point, similar stuff. And think of the access point configuration more in terms of the radio and the wired component, right? So this will be more the VLAN, the security settings, the radio settings on the AP, and so on. And so you do the 2 configurations, and then you're done with the config. In terms of network setting services. The guest access portal is one thing that a lot of folks use. So it's pretty popular. So I'm going to sort of click on that, and then you can do your guest access settings. So obviously you've got the basic, you've got access, you can set up your splash page, customize it, and so on, right? So you can set up that. And again, in terms of what is available. This is, again, just to remind you again, is you have four captive portals and 1,000 concurrent sessions that is supported in Essentials. Right? So that's the network services, and then the admin, just to reiterate. So we mentioned that there are 10 admin users, and that's where you see, and you can obviously give them different roles and so on here. Right? So you can create admins and admin roles up to 10. So that's at a very high level what you get with Essentials. Now, I'm going to switch this screen here, and I've got a cnMaestro X account. So you can see this is cnMaestro X, and with cnMaestro X, there are a couple of things I want to quickly draw your attention to. One is you will see I've got the MSP view here, right? So remember. X has a number of features. Of that, I want to draw your attention to 2 specifically. One is MSP view, and we'll get into that. And these are all my sort of MSP managed accounts, right? So as an MSP, I've got a lot of tenants, and these are all my tenants. And this view is available only in X. That's one. And obviously, with that, you have this other tab on the left panel that I'm showing, and I'm sort of highlighting here. That's an X capability, and it comes marked to indicate that's X. The other one that I want to sort of bring your attention to is under network services, you see API, right? So remember, a couple of things that are powerful in X immediately would be the MSP dashboard. It's the API capability. And then, of course, there's some scaling stuff around captive portals, around EPSK, reporting, and so on. But those are all we will get to that, but this I want to get your attention to. Okay, back to home here. Very similar. The reason you're seeing more devices here, so it looks different than what you saw in Essentials, but the flow is very identical. You've got the global counter, and along with the global counter, you've got the MSP view now. That's an addition. The main dashboard looks the same. It gives you a snapshot of all the devices, their health, their status, and so on. That's the landing page. And then if you move to monitor and manage, again, very similar. And here I've got more stuff, but basically a contextual dashboard with network topology visible. Each time you go from a system to a network to a site, you will see that the dashboard change, right? Reflecting what actually is what you're looking at. And all of that is obviously rolls up into the system level. That's that, and then we will skip the inventory. The inventory actually gives you status of all the devices, and the managed services. Yeah, let's focus on this a bit, because this is new and only available in X. So obviously you have all the managed accounts here, and if I want to, and then this is how you set up your managed services. You can create branded services for each of the tenants, and you can see this, and it's fairly straightforward to create. And these are managed accounts. I want to show you. Double click on that. So like this is one managed account, and the benefit of this is threefold, right? So it gives you a single pane of glass experience for all your tenants. So that's number one. So as you can see, you've got a number of tenants, you've got a single view of a single pane of glass experience. You can click on any tenant and you can look at their network. You can also do the branded services. Remember, we talked about that, and I showed you the branded services stuff, where you can provide branded services to your tenant. Then you also have user roles, right? So you can provide user roles to your tenants. And the last one is you can also have you can offer domains. Yeah, you can have separate admin domains for the devices in each of the tenant networks. That came a little complicated, but hopefully you got it right. So if you look at each of these tenants, you can sort of say, look, these are the AP groups, and these are the WLANs and VLANs, and they have access to their network. It may be just viewing, it may be configuration. That's up to you, but you can provide those roles. So that's the high-level benefit of MSP. And what I've heard so far is this is a pretty powerful, and really partners like this, right? This allows them to scale, brings in operational efficiencies, and so on. The other few features I want to point out while we're here is reporting, right? So you get a fairly extensive reporting capability that comes with X. You can also schedule reports. You can sort of have them emailed to certain destinations and so on. You can do daily, weekly, monthly, and so on. Right, so that's another big feature. So far with X, we have talked about MSP, we've talked about reports. Let's move to the API, right? So obviously with API, you have. I'm just going to click on this, and for benefit, I'll just show up, right? So it's very straightforward to use the API. We've got the Swagger documentation, and folks who have used Swagger will know that, look, you don't have to be a programmer to use it. It's all fairly straightforward. You can try, there's basically three or four commands. You've got get, you've got put, and you've got one other thing I'm forgetting. But anyway, there are 3 or 4 standard API commands, and you can retrieve whatever you want, or you can program the radios the way you want. You can also integrate with backend systems, right? So with API, you can integrate to backend billing systems or CRM systems. You also have webhooks. So instead of the pull mechanism, you can now stream data from cnMaestro to backend services. And one of the popular services, incident management systems, right? So things like Slack or PagerDuty. And so on, right? So those are all incident management systems. You can stream directly from cnMaestro to these systems and get paged and alerted. So that's the API and webhooks. I think I want to go back to this because what I didn't mention is show you the performance stuff. So I'm just going to pick one AP here and one device, or maybe. So I'm just trying to pick a device and get to statistics. No. Let's go here. What I was trying to get to is performance, and I am struggling here, but that's okay. If I find it here, I'll quickly show you. But basically, there is a performance tab, and under that, you can get up to 2 years of stats and performance data. And that's what I was trying to pull up and see, and get a device and to show you that. But that's I'm struggling there. That's okay. Then let's move on to the admin. So here, obviously, I mentioned that you have 100 admin users instead of 10. So just wanted to call that out. And then back on the configuration, I just want to call out one more thing here, which is on the EPSK, right? So if you go to WLANs, pick some configuration, the EPSK is scaled up to 1024 with X. So those are some of the key features of X. Back to my slide here. And then let me just put it in presentation. So while this is coming up, I will mention a couple of things so far. There we go. So I think I may have to switch the display here so you'll see this properly. Okay, so we've done the demo, and now I want to just sort of cover a couple of things that I was not able to do because this is a app here. So you can use a mobile app from cnArcher called cnArcher, and this is an app that can help you onboard devices, right? So it can onboard cnPilot devices. It's available for iOS and Android in Google Play and Marketplace. So this is something that you should consider using. This actually streamlines the install process. And the other thing that I also want to draw your attention is I just used a cloud instance, but if you were using a cnMaestro on premises, you have this capability for auto provisioning. So you basically can define the subnet, and then devices coming from that subnet can inherit a config that you've already built out. So you have a canned config. All devices coming from this subnet will inherit that config. So they can be so that's the auto provisioning part. And while we're here, I want to bring up one thing, right? So everything that I've talked about in terms of cnMaestro X applies to both the cloud and the on-premises instance. So there's no difference. Same thing that's available for cloud will be available for on-premises. Okay. And again, just to reiterate, right? So one of the key values of cnMaestro X is delivering value to MSP. So we've looked at the multi-level customer accounts. That's the network topology that I mentioned. One single pane of glass experience. We've talked about the RESTful APIs. And this is something that I sort of briefly mentioned, right? With webhooks, you could do backend integrations, stream data from Maestro real-time to various incident management systems. That it can be anything, but here we are only showing incident management systems like Slack and PagerDuty and so on. Long-term historical data. This provides you a good view of sort of what's happening in your network over time. If there are trends you can pick up, avoid some issues, and be more proactive than reactive. So it gives you the tools to be more proactive. We didn't talk about the audit logs, but obviously this is for debugging, troubleshooting. A lot of remote debugging capabilities available, so you can get crash dumps and so on remotely, and then do the analysis. Saves you from escalating to level 3 and so on. And then concurrent device jobs, right? So this is to get multiple sets of devices to upgrade firmware. So in closing, look, cnMaestro Essentials provides a comprehensive lifecycle management, and it's ideal for small operators, SMBs. Okay, and that does not require any subscription. And then when you move to X, this is a set of advanced capabilities with bundled with Cambium Care or 24/7 technical support, ideal for MSPs, medium to large operators, and small medium enterprises. With that, Angela, back to you.
Awesome, thank you. So I do have a few questions here that I'm going to go ahead and address. So for the guest access portal in cnMaestro Essentials, is there a way to set up paid services in that configuration?
And services meaning, I'll need some details.
So they're saying, please clarify the API function is still only available for on-premise versions. Is that correct?
Very, very good question. No, I'll provide some color on that, right? So API is available on premises, and API in cloud will come in the next release, which is 3.0.4, and that is starting to get rolled out. So in the next 3 to 5 days, in the next week, we should have API in the cloud available. So if somebody wants it, we just have to wait another week or so.
Okay, there's another question here that might need extra attention, but I'll go ahead and address it and see where we can go with it. They're asking, or they're saying that they purchased a quantity of the cnMaestro X subscriptions, but they did use those subscriptions when they added a significant number of new customers, but the system would not let them use the cnMaestro X at all. Are they doing something wrong? Do they need extra help?
You know, I think it's best they reach out to me, and I'll connect them with the right person so that we can resolve this. It's hard to address it on the call here, but strongly suggest that they reach out to me offline or through Judy, and then we will tackle that.
Perfect. So going back to the cnMaestro Essentials, they want to know, how do you set up a paid hotspot, and what is the cost of it?
Yeah, so the paid hotspot requires integration with services that collect money and so on, which is not available in cnMaestro Essentials. It's a cnMaestro X features, and we have integration with a number of payment gateways, and I can try to pull it up and hopefully be able to show you. But yeah, there's integration with payment gateways, and I will let me see if I can bring it up here. So you can see that with the paid with these are the payment gateways we have integration with, right? So we have PayPal, IP Pay, Quick Pay, Orange Money, etc., right? So so it is an X feature, but to integrate with these backend payment gateways, you will need X.
All right, perfect. I don't see any other further questions here, but I will get you in touch with the question earlier for support. I think that should be pretty much it. Like I mentioned earlier, that we will have a copy of this recording available to everybody. We will send it via email, and we'll also post it on our YouTube channel. So again, Jadesh, thank you for your presentation today. And if there's anything else extra that you wanted to add, please go ahead and do so now.
No, I don't have. And if folks have some one-off questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You know the contacts, and we'll be happy to help you and support. My only ask of you folks is to make sure that you enroll, get the trial license. It's free, the 90-day stuff, and check it out. And your feedback is always welcome, right? So if you feel like, look, this is what Cambium should be focused on and work on, and this will help my business, please don't hesitate to provide that input to us. We value that, and we will act on it. We'll certainly process it, and we will act on it. So please feel free to just use and try out cnMaestro X.
Great, thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.